Hey, check this out. You guys want to see a magic trick? Timbecon have spent a stupid amount of money and time getting this certified for the Australian market. We did that in-house to bring you this fantastically useful, nifty little machine. iVac's little switch box here. The model number is SB-ANZ, ANZ being Australia, New Zealand. Okay, so I'm at a point in my production run where I am sanding the edges of a whole bunch of components. I don't want to have to fart around with the extraction. I want to just turn the machines on and get going. And I want both machines running at the same time, constantly, through the same extractor. To do that, I will be using my edge sander and my spindle sander. Now, one of the things I don't want to have to do is walk over and turn on the dust extractor or turn it back off again every time I go. I'm constantly running in and out of the shop. I'll do, one or two production buckets at a time, and then I'll go do other things, come back to this, bounce around constantly, and it is more efficient to just turn on the machines, get some work done, turn the machines off, and go do whatever else is happening. The setup that I'm using to do this is a very handy little, triumvirate. A shop vac, not the most powerful unit ever, and because it has a small tank, I'm using the Dust Deputy Bagger by Oneida to pre-sort all of the dust from the extraction unit. Up until now, I've been walking over, turning on the machine, and then doing the work, and then turning the machine off, blah, 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 blah. It's a nightmare. So I have added the third part to the list of my little triumvirate, and that is the iVac dust collector switch box, model SB-ANZ. It doesn't work with your regular dust extractors that have the NVR switch built in, like all of them have here in Australia. They all legally must have that NVR switch. There is a whole bunch of iVac products. There's a whole range of them that work specifically with the big extraction units. This guy is for your shop vac. The great thing about this unit is that anything you plug in here, when you turn it on, will engage the vacuum if you've got it plugged into there. There is 3 different modes on the power switch. There's off, on, and auto. That refers to anything plugged into this socket here. When it's on automatic, anytime power is drawn from here, it will engage this power point. There is a reset overload here. When it's set to on, I guess, the vacuum will always be running. And when it's set to off, it'll always be off. This is handy if you have tools that you are running through your shop vac that are through a different power point than this. In my own shop, the way I've got things set up, I have these 4 machines behind me on this wall: the drill press, the bandsaw, the SOB. You can see a video on this guy over here somewhere, and the SOS. All running through a power strip with individual switches for the different power points. I turn on the power to the machine, and then I turn on the machine. This machine can handle a total load of 2,400 watts. I can run this machine and this machine at the same time as my shop vac without having any troubles. But if you do trip the power on it, there is a reset button here. Doink. There is on the back of this unit here a little door. If you open that up, there's a bunch of little tiny switches in there, and you can change the way the unit works. Mostly what those switches do regards the delays. So you turn on the machine and then the vacuum turns on. So a little delay there. A little delay there is great because when you turn on the machine, it draws full power straight off the bat, right? And then, like, as the power arcs on the switch. If both machines turned on at exactly the same time, it would trip this thing out every single time, just about. With an offset, this arcs the full power and then it backs off to only the load that it needs to run the machine, which is considerably less the vast majority of the time. And then it turns on the extraction unit. Now, there is also a delay after you turn it off, and that is to clear the hoses, right? So you don't have random detritus hanging out in the hoses. These little switches here. There are the two for the delays, 5 and 6, I believe they are. 1, 2, and 3, rather, sorry, are for some machines will still draw a little tiny bit of power when they're not on. They are to counteract that so that your machine isn't constantly drawing power. So if this thing is setting off your extraction all the time, then have a play with these until it stops. If you can't be bothered getting into the weeds and all of that, just use the factory default. It's fine. You might want to increase the delay when you turn the machine off if the unit is, you know, fairly far from the extraction. You know, if you got more hose, you need more time to draw more stuff out of it. The book of words, which is only a single page, has all the data that you need to know for all of that stuff. Did I need that part? I mentioned earlier, there is, you can turn the extraction unit on and off from this switch without having to crawl underneath the bench. That is very handy if you are using a machine that's not plugged into this box, right? For instance, my hand sanders, my Merca is plugged into a different power point, so it's not drawing power through this unit. So I just turn this guy on and then start sanding away. This unit and a shop vac and a dust deputy is a little trio of handy things that all work beautifully together. Triumvirate. I think that's all there is to really say about this guy. I'm just gonna plug everything in and start filming some B-roll stuff, I guess. What? Why are you? Doo-doo. Oh, Sarah Lee, merrily we rode along. Sarah Lee, come back to me. You make good fucking cheesecake. Pretty straightforward. That goes into vacuum. Okay. That one comes from over there, so that's the tool. Boink. Set it to auto. Done and done. It only really needs to be mounted from 2 points. If there's nothing underneath, that's fine. There's my little vacuum that comes up and goes plugged into the one marked vacuum. And this one leads over there to the power strip that I mentioned earlier. Ta-da! Yeah, and wrap-up stuff. There you have it, one iVac switch box awesomeness. Nifty machine, man, I love it so much. If it's your first time here, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, doobly-doo, etc., etc. Yeah, I'm Phil Shinbine, and I'll see you when next I see you. Okay, so